Unity.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Konstantin, this is Matt. We're engineers here at Twitter working on Fabric. For the past 9 months or so, we've been hard at work working on Unity. If you don't know what any of these terms are, that's okay. Don't panic. We're going to explain them to you. So just a quick show of hands. Who believes that making games is easy? Yeah, that's what I thought. Making games and apps in general is hard. In fact, it's so hard, it's wicked hard. It takes a lot of time and effort into building your game. And often, when we talk about the effort it takes, we're only focused on sort of the core business logic of the game, mechanics, etc., etc. We never talk about the rest of the things, the everything else. So at the end of this presentation, we hope that you'll appreciate just how much good tools help you in your journey from idea to the App Store, especially when it comes to everything else, sort of the bottom part of the meaty iceberg. We'll start by introducing Unity to you all, and then we'll jump into Fabric.
Hello, am I on? How's it going? As you know, given the current mobile app landscape, to reach the widest audience, you want to generally build a game or an app for Android and iOS. And maybe if you're an overachiever, those 5 people who have a Windows phone. But without a team of people, as we've heard, without a team of people with both of those skill sets, that's easier said than done. Because most folks specialize in one or the other, and many people haven't dealt with either one. So out of curiosity, who here would say you're an expert in both Android and iOS?
Of course.
You are the man. Well, even if you are proficient in both platforms, or have a team who is, you know that iOS and Android development are so different from each other that it's hard to create a centralized code base to share across your platforms. And even if you do, it generally boils down to a C or C++ code base with platform-specific extensions. Luckily, there are a lot of tools that solve that problem. We just heard about one. But for game developers in particular, the most popular by far is Unity. But what is Unity? Some of you may know already, but Unity is a game development platform. It provides a lot of the game development boilerplate for you that you need so you can focus on building a game. It provides a mono-based runtime that runs compiled C# code on both platforms. It also provides a fully featured IDE, which you can see here, with an integrated game view. It has its own built-in game engine. All of these things geared toward helping you focus on building your game so that you can ignore the other minutia. So, once you've written your game in C#, you can then export an Xcode project or an Android Studio project straight from the Unity IDE, and then make any final platform-specific tweaks that you need to make. So, using Unity, let's imagine you build your great game idea. It's this really cool game where you have to drop these colored discs into a grid, and then you have to make 4 of them match up, and then you win. Okay? You may know this game, but we're going to call it Tetra Join. Tetra meaning 4. Okay. So, you play test this game, everything's great, all of your testing goes well, and you ship it, and then you sit back and you let the acclaim and the users roll in.
Oh no. Oh no. What's going on? You spent hours upon hours of manually testing your game, but it still fails in the wild. There's just such a huge variation of different phones and different versions of the operating systems that it's impractical to buy all the necessary hardware to manually test it. And this is a scary thing. In such cases, you can't just log into a customer's device and search their logs. Well, knowing you guys, it's illegal to log into a customer's device and search their logs. So this is a pretty hard lesson on the first foray into what else goes into making games successful. Luckily, much like Unity helped you focus on the important bits of your game, namely the business logic, the mechanics, Fabric 2 can help you focus on your customers. How many of you are mobile app developers? So some of you may be familiar with Fabric. For those of you that aren't, Fabric is a suite of mobile developer tools that allow you to focus on your core domain when building your application. More specifically, it's like a set of SDKs that you can integrate into your project via plugins or like CocoaPods or manually if you want. And they provide certain critical building blocks for your application. One of the most fundamental tools in Fabric is called Crashlytics. How many of you have heard of Crashlytics? Excellent. It's an SDK that allows you to collect crash information on users' devices and forward it to a dashboard. So now that issue that bad reviewer ran into is no longer so scary. This is what the dashboard looks like. And so receiving this crash information in practically real time can help you stay on top of issues as soon as they're discovered. So in the case of that bad review again, you can proactively reach out and say, hey, I know exactly what's happening, it'll be fixed soon. As Matt mentioned previously, Unity is able to generate Android Studio and Xcode projects. And until very recently, folks had to modify these projects manually to add Fabric, to add things like Crashlytics. So as an example, they would export an Android Studio project, install the Android Studio Fabric plugin, and then integrate Crashlytics. This is pretty daunting and very burdensome because you would have to do that on every build. And that's not cool. So we saw an opportunity to help game developers. And we built this plugin for the Unity IDE that we're going to demo in a little bit. And this hopefully will help them in building their idea. At the moment, we provide 3 very valuable Unity-based tools, Crashlytics, TwitterKit, and MoPub. So Crashlytics, for those of you that aren't familiar, helps you achieve stability within your game. So there's nothing worse than being excited about a new game only to find out it crashes every time you try to catch a stinking Pokemon, right? TwitterKit allows you to integrate the social component. For example, if you have this cool game and you reach a high score, you might want to tweet it to all your friends. And MoPub allows you to monetize your hard work by plugging you into an ad exchange network with just a few clicks. So we've been doing quite a bit of talking, and that's kind of boring. So let's jump into a demo and see how easily it is to integrate Fabric into your project and to start enjoying its benefits.
All right, so I need like a second to get this set up, so sorry about that. Righty, and then we want to open up. Is this the right? Yes. Cool. Yep, I know. It's perfect. Displays.
Who's got jokes?
I heard a really good joke today. You hear it?
Yes.
Why? I'm gonna mess this up. Why are pterodactyls so quiet in the bathroom?
Because the pee is silent.
Yes! Give that man a t-shirt. Because the P is silent. Thank you, Andrea, for that one earlier today.
One joke, and you told my joke.
Hey, I thought you were going to tell it earlier when you asked for jokes, and you didn't, so I wanted it to be cool. Okay, cool. So we have this really cool game. So how many of you did not have any idea what I was talking about when I described it earlier?
Tetrajoin.
Tetrajoin. Okay. Cool. Well, everybody knows what I'm talking about then, so we can quickly just show that off. You know, you like drop these in there, and then you can win. Okay, so over here we can see the Fabric plugin. For the sake of time, I've already kind of prefetched a few things. We've already kind of installed the TwitterKit, which will give us a little social component for our game. And I'm just going to walk through the installation and configuration of Crashlytics. So normally when I click that little button there, it would download the Crashlytics kit into your Unity app. I've already downloaded it for the sake of time. But we're going to walk through the configuration. So it's going to modify just a few things in your project. It's going to drop in what needs to be there. And then we're going to just initialize Crashlytics so that, you know, if my app crashes, I'll know about it. And then everything is good to go. So we're good and installed. And so we've got that going. Cool. So we're going to have this game. And what's going to happen is when I win or when I lose, I can tweet about that. So let's just make sure we've got our code set up and ready to go there. So we have this tweet right here. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna uncomment that. And then I've got some other stuff to start up the tweet UI. Is that? Yeah, that's super huge, isn't it? Okay, let's bring that down a bit. I was afraid it was going to be too small. Okay, so we can tweet when we win. If we look where we're calling that, come here. Where'd you go? Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay, cool. So when we win, we'll have this little tweet button come up here. Here's some C# code that'll trigger that, and then we'll tweet that out. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna use this really cool thing called Visor. Anybody know about Visor? Nice. I got a few people. All right, can we see that? All right, this is my phone. Cool. So I'm gonna quickly build my app out of Unity.
So while that's building, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Unity IDE. It is, how you say, much less advanced than anything else, including Android Studio or Xcode or Visual Studio or like Emacs, in fact. And the reason I say that is because Unity doesn't provide a lot of things out of the box. For example, there's no dependency management of any kind. There's no way for you as a plugin author, for example, to notify those users that have your plugin installed that there's a new version available. Usually it comes in the form of an email from Unity, or you have to access the asset store. It's like a Play Store with a bunch of plugins to see that a new version is available. So what we've done is we realize that this is a burden, and as part of the Fabric plugin for Unity, we built a lightweight dependency management system, and we built a way for the users to be notified of new versions, because I'm sure before you want to release, you want the latest and greatest, as long as it hasn't changed, as long as it's backwards compatible.
Cool. So here we have our app, and I've got it upside down, so I'm going to turn it right side up, and I'm going to try to win. Luckily, the AI is really quite bad, and so it's pretty easy to win. Cool. All right, so I can tweet about that, right? So I hit the tweet button.
Oh no, it seems to be frozen.
Yeah, it does. One interesting thing to note about Unity is that when it throws an exception, it doesn't actually crash your app, which is a really interesting thing. We've had, when we went to build this, we had a lot of customers come back and say, why are you building that? Unity apps don't crash. Well, it turns out that they do. As you just saw, they just happen to do it kind of quietly. So that's where Crashlytics comes in. So if I relaunch the app, somewhere in there, I've got this somewhere, it's called Tetrajoin, so it should be under the T's, right? Cool. So if I relaunch that, actually, let me just make sure I kill it, so that it will be sure to relaunch. Then what will happen is Crashlytics took stock of the exceptions that were thrown, and we'll have reported those to your dashboard.
Wow.
Wow. So we can see, we report them as non-fatal events. It may not have shown up yet. It'll be there, within a couple of minutes. For the sake of time, I'll show you one that I queued up. So you can see here that somewhere in our Twitter composer, something's gone wrong. So we've got in our game controller tweet function, we've got this null reference exception. So let's take a look at our tweet function and see what happened. So we can look at this and we can see, oh, we've initialized this Twitter session. Oh, but we didn't actually do anything with it. So let's actually initialize it by logging in first, which is also made available to you via the Twitter kit. So we'll try that, and we'll build that out and see how that goes. So let's quickly do that.
I wish all my fixed errors were just in commented code right above.
Right? Wouldn't that be neat?
there a plug-in for that?
I was going to say, unfortunately, that's not quite yet something that Fabric does, but we're thinking about it. No, we're not really thinking about that. But if you're thinking about it, like, come talk to me, because I'd love to know what your thoughts are.
That's about it.
All right. Okay, cool. We're launching. Okay, let's go back to Visor, which just got real small for some reason. Let's make that bigger. Haha. Cool, so let's try this again. Again, luckily the AI is pretty bad, so I shouldn't have too hard a time winning this game. Oh yeah, oh that's right. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Demo fail. Oh, look at that, he blocked me. Oh, got it. All right, tweet. Cool. Oh, turns out I'm already logged in. So, we're going to tweet what's happening. We're having a really sweet Twitter dev meetup. Also, I won. Yeah, that's right. So tweet that. And then let's go back to Chrome here, and we'll see, oh, we've got this little favorite for Unity, best friends. Yep. So there you go. And then we've tweeted about winning our game at the Twitter Dev Meetup. So as you can see, it's all very easy to integrate. If you want to see a little bit more, I'm happy to show you, but I'm going to hold off for the sake of time for everybody else. But beyond that, MoPub is also available to you, and that allows you to very quickly and simply integrate banner ads or full-page interstitials in between levels, things like that. So you can also start making money just as quick as can be. So I think that's about it. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, go forth and make your awesome games come to life.
So, thank